is only war.
What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. We finally did it. We did a great, I almost said Grey Knight. We did a Death Guard video versus Chaos Space Marine. This is our boy Garrett over at Alternate Universes in Bluebell, Pennsylvania. We do our Monday night gamings out there. He asked for a game so that way we can practice and kind of get, better at the game. Garrett's a new guy who started about, I would say 6 months ago, and has been to almost every single RTT at Alternate Universes, has improved so freaking much in the community, and I fucking love it because his meta is literally all the competitive Northeast players that he's playing against. So his meta is getting him so much better at this game. No matter if you go 0-3 at RTT, you learn so much shit in this game every single time. So every time me and Garrett play, I try and teach him as much as humanly possible. Every time it's basically just free coaching for him, which is hilarious because he's not a Patreon. So let's go, Garrett. But it's cool to see what he's doing and progressing right in front of our eyes. So Garrett's been running a super competitive Chaos Space Marine list. He's changed it up a little bit since last time we played, but with Death Guard, this is the first Death Guard game we have on the channel. I really actually enjoyed playing it. I missed playing Death Guard. A lot of guys kept asking to get more Death Guard videos up, so here you go. Here's the first fucking Death Guard video. I'm going to be running more of this. I think Mortarion is super fun to play. I have the proxy sculpt Mortarion. I don't know if I'm going to buy a full Mortarion model. I don't see me playing these guys competitive, like in Games Workshop RTTs or GTs and stuff. I probably might go to RTTs with Death Guard in the future once they update all the points and stuff. But I had fun. I thought this was super awesome. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys like Death Guard, Chaos Space Marine player, 40k, and anything in general, hit the subscribe and like. There's still about 60% of the video viewers not subscribed to the channel. So if you guys like this type of content, definitely hit subscribe, like, do all the YouTube shit, and then head over to Discord. We all help each other out over there. If you have any questions, list ideas, all that stuff, do that. If you guys want to get better at the competitive scene, go head over to Patreons, because we do competitive Patreon, Grandmaster Patreons, which we actually do stuff like this. Like I play lists, or I make videos for you guys on Grandmaster suggestions, and then if you're competitive, you get coaching from me one-on-one through Discord to kind of get you better in 10th edition. If you guys are competitive or Grandmaster watching, make sure you're messaging me as many times as you want. Any questions, I will be there to help out. If you're not messaging me, you're basically just giving money to the channel, which is great. I really appreciate it, but I want you guys to get the most out of it and get you better at the game. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, always make sure you're messaging me on Discord. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for being Patreons, and thanks for supporting the channel. So this type of video, if you guys haven't noticed, anytime it's a loud environment, I try to take pictures. This is just like a RTT video that we do on the channel, where I take pictures of the 3 games, then I go back and I talk about each game, how to get better, what I could have done, where I could have improved, and what you guys could do is kind of learn from my mistakes. As I fuck up, hopefully you won't fuck up. So this is going to be that type of video where I'm going to take pictures and go through it one by one and kind of go through how the game progressed via picture compared to the loud ass atmosphere background, which is just super annoying. So anytime we go Alternate Universes on Monday nights, I'm probably going to be taking pictures. Anytime it's a battle bunker in my house, it's going to be a live view. Anytime it's battle bunker in Jack's, it might be a live view. So just depending on where we're recording, that's kind of what we're going to be doing. So a lot of videos coming up to the channel, so make sure you guys are staying tuned. If you guys are a Patreon, these come out first on the Patreon website, then YouTube afterwards. So if you guys want first access, head over to Patreon. It's only $1 a month. If you guys want to do $5 a month, that's just because you like 40k and want to be a Dirtbag Nation. And then if you guys want to go baller, go $10 and $25 a month because you're fucking awesome. So let's get into the video. All right, today we got Mortarion, Typhus, Lord of Vigilance, a Death Guard Sorcerer in Knight Lord deck out armor, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers. God, this camera's so clear. Rhino, 2 units of 3 Flamer Dudes, 2 units of 5 Plague Marines, 2 heavy weapons, 1 melt gun, 1 blight launcher, and another heavy weapon in plasma, 20 Poxwalkers, 2x10 Cultists, 2,000 point Death Guard list. Alright, so for Chaos Space Marine, we have 1 legal unit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got today? Chaos Space Marine.
It's totally fair. So we have Abaddon with 5 Legionnaires, We have 2 big units of accursed cultists with their dark communes attached. We have a unit of 4 obliterators, 2 forge fiends, our demon allies here, 2 units of flamers, 2 units of nurglings. Then we have a hellbrute and cipher to round it out.
Cool, and just to let everybody know, this is a 3D printed army. You cannot buy these models. You have to ask Garrett to print them for you. So we're going to try our best. I mean, it is kind of what it is, you know, WYSIWYG. Like, they do kind of look like the models. So we'll play like that. So those were the lists that we did. We are playing Dawn of War type setup with, we're practicing for Nova, but we're using all 2 universes terrain. So this is his Dawn of War deployment. We got everybody kind of castled up behind line of sight over there. And then we have a unit of Dark Commune and cultists up there. He's using really Abaddon's 4+ invuln save to help out the Dark Commune. And then we got Rhino with Plague Marines, some cultists because they have the pregame move, so you can either pregame onto the objective or pregame behind the wall, which is really good for scout. And then we got 3 Plague Burst Crawlers with Mortarion in back, trying not to get shot by a fucking Forge Fiend. But Mortarion with the Plague Burst Crawlers is just super good, and the Lord of Virulence or whatever dropping down, so they get ignore cover and +1 to hit, and they ignore the penalty for being out of line of sight. So it's such a good combo, guys. It's hard to take out of your list because it does so well. This is the setup. We have ruin. This second floor is line of sight blocking. We're changing that at alternate universes to try and help out with towering. And the top floor is open, so you can get some type of plunging fire coming down on that floor. So ruin, forest. And this is the standard setup at alternate universes. We also place the objectives. So we place there, and right back there. So all of them have to be outside 9 inches and then away from 6 inches from the table field edge. So let's get into this. First turn, we get Tempting Target and Aerial Denial. So Tempting Target, at the end of the turn, you control selected objective marker and all right, so basically you have to pick an objective marker and then you have to try and control it. And then over here at the end of your turn, if 1 or more units on your army are wholly within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield, and then no enemy units within 6 inches of the center. Pretty easy one to get. And then over here, we got engage in all fronts and deploy teleport homers. So he's green, so he's the one getting those, and then I got the other one. So I was able to get within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield because of that scout move. So scout move up, get within 6 inches, do the homer, and then he picked the objective over there, which there's no fucking way I was getting it. It's in no man's land, and it's on his side of the table basically, so I can't get that objective from him. So I think we just ditched that at the end of my turn, but we did get the teleport homer in the center of the battlefield because we went first and we had a scout move. So cultist with scout move is really, really good, especially with Death Guard for how fucking slow we are. All right, so he moves up. I forgot that he makes guys, which is funny because I play this army. So he made his dudes, his 2 little guys, he made them to make the threat range further. So he needed a 6 inches to make a charge instead of a 9 inch to make the charge. So I was relying that he wasn't going to be, that close to me, but they move up and then you make dudes, or you make dudes and you move up. So you have such a bigger threat range. So kind of going to lose my cultist and he's going to get on this objective to steal the objective from me. So that's basically what he does. He runs up or moves up. He might have even advanced. I think he advanced because they can advance and charge. So he runs up, charges my guys, kills basically all my cultists because I'm not going to roll. I'm just going to remove them. Then he's basically camping out a shit ton of guys because they're all OPSEC 2. Curse cultists are OPSEC 2, which is awesome. So they're all camping out on my sticky objective thing over here, and I wasn't able to make this sticky because I couldn't have a guy live in my command phase. So Forge Fiend moved over. Abaddon's back there. Now, funny thing about Abaddon, or my turn 1, was I actually shot Abaddon out of line of sight. And I was able to kill 4 out of 5 Legionnaires because he rolled, I think, 4 or 5 twos. I think he rolled 4 1s and 2s and killed 4 guys instantly. So it only left 1 guy and Abaddon. He should have used the Nurgle strat to not be shot at out of line of sight, but he was afraid that I was going to launch into either the Forge Fiends or Curse Cultists if he did that. So he's like, nah, I think I should be good rolling some 3s. So he just rolled like shit for the first one, and then the other one I shot into his unit again, and then killed the last guy, and then did some wounds to Abaddon. So that was a good turn 1 on my part. Just the fucking 3 Plague Burst crawlers launching across the table, shooting Abaddon's unit and killing the Legionnaires. So that was really my turn 1. And then I got Overwhelming Force and Defend Stronghold, so I have to try and defend my stronghold so that way he can't get on there. So that's why I deep struck these guys down here to try and block out 9 inches from reserve, so that way he can't get anywhere over here. Plague Burst Crawler moved back, these guys moved up, trying to stay within 6 inches of Mortarion so I can get that benefit, that sweet bonus. He's got a fucking 20-man Curse Cultist unit behind this wall, and this was my mistake. This is what I would not suggest doing, is charging Mortarion into a 20-man Cultist blob. A Curse Cultist blob, because he only has 5 attacks. Most likely he's going to kill maybe 3 guys because he has a fucking 5-up invuln save, and he can just use the big swing on the little guys to kill the little guy. So we had another unit jump down here. This was my Lord of Virulence guy, so we can get line of sight onto most of his army. So line of sight onto this squad, line of sight onto this squad, line of sight to most of the things over here. So that was the goal of him coming down over there, to get line of sight on everything. If anything he can see, my Plague Burst Crawlers get +1 to hit and ignore cover. So super huge. I fucked up because these guys were in reserves, and I thought that I can walk him in, but I just completely forgot you can't come in the enemy battlefield edge, or the enemy zone, battlefield zone, turn 2. You can come in turn 3, but if they're walking on, you have to be outside their deployment zone. So we picked them back up and we brought them all the way back down here in my deployment zone to try and make this 9-inch charge, which was dumb. I should have brought them in over here to try and get into the fight more. So that was my first mistake, was these guys should have probably been over here, like outside 9 inches of this guy, or if you can fit it even closer, just to try and be in the building, out of line of sight, or just try and make that charge. The 2 units, 5-man Plague Marine units, hopped out of the Rhino 8 inches. They got line of sight onto Abaddon, which was on the other side of this wall here. He was solo now, and I think he's down to like 5 or 6 wounds. And then we got the Forge Fiend. So I want to move up, shoot Forge Fiend, shoot Abaddon, and then charge Forge Fiend and try and kill the Forge Fiend. And then everything else is literally going into this a Curse Cultist. So I want to blow up this Curse Cultist, try and do as much damage as I possibly can to it, while the big guy charges the other guys on the side of the wall and tie them up, which really, he tied me up. So all the shots, sprays over there, killed some of them, sprays over there, killed some of them. I don't know the sorcerer. Like, he is, I probably used him wrong. I probably, because again, deep strikes, you want to get them into the fray. So since I deep struck them over here, they're so slow. They're only speed 4, so it literally took me all game to get to this end of the field, which you guys will notice. All right, so at the end of my turn, this is where I moved them back. So I put them back onto my table foot edge, but they should have been by this Forge Fiend. So Abaddon's on 1 wound over here. So I try and make this YOLO charge. I think it was like a 7-inch charge or 8-inch charge. I make the charge, so this 5-man unit goes into Abaddon alone, and then this other 5-man unit goes into the Forge Fiend. So on turn 2, we're able to literally kill Abaddon with Plague Burst Crawlers and a charging unit of Plague Marines, which was hilarious. Like on turn 2, being able to kill Abaddon, now I don't have to worry about him, because Abaddon can fuck up Morty like pretty easily. So this is what happened. Morty charged in, was 1 inch away from the wall. So I didn't want to put him on the objective, because then he can kind of move up and get closer towards the objective. So I wanted to charge him further away from the objective, so that way he's to consolidate towards my guy. So I taught him a trick where these guys can kind of stay where they're at, and then you can make guys in the unit. So they basically got made onto the objective, which again was just my bad placing. So I killed like 1 or 2, and then on his turn, he just made some dudes onto the objective, as long as they're in coherency 2 inches from the one guy. So then he basically stole that objective back in his command phase. We killed everybody but the Dark Commune in this squad, so we did pretty good with shooting on that. And let's go into this. So made the charge. Those guys made the charge. Killed Abaddon. These guys took this Forge Fiend down to 8 wounds, and then Cypher is kind of just chilling back there. So this is the end of my turn. This is what I'm talking about. So he made these guys to tag the objective as long as they're within 2 inches of the original unit. That's the change now. But he basically stole that back from me in his command phase, which was smart. So he's still able to get 10 points. He controlled this objective, or Cypher controlled that objective, and then he controlled this objective. I stole this objective from the Dark Commune on my turn. So he got deploy teleport homers and storm hostile objective. And this was at the alternate universes. If anybody needs a librarian, I just got one from one of our Patreons, so appreciate you, broski. Our Grandmaster Patreon. And then on this turn, we got Forge Fiend, which I forgot that he has a fallback, shoot, and charge strat. So he spent 1 CP to fall back and shoot. Helbert moved up. Dark Commune moved up to try and get some mortal wounds on here. Oh, 4 Blitz drop down Deep Strike to just blow up fucking Mortarion. And then Cypher kind of chilled there to shoot some shots onto these 2 units. The Nurglings came into the bottom corner here to do their actions. That's basically all they're there to do. And I believe that was it. So that's all his movement. Now, Oblitz, I definitely underestimated them, especially not marked Oblitz. 1 CP gets to reroll all hits and wounds. So going into Mortarion, I believe it was only -1 to hit, but he still has all the hits. Exploding 6s, I believe. So hit me shit ton of times, full rerolls, and then wounding. He wounded me, I don't know, 11 times or something. I think I failed 4 saves. I spent 1 CP to re-roll it, and then it was flat 6 damage. So I had to roll 18 dice. Yes, so I rolled 18 dice, and I went down to 5 wounds on a 5-up, feeling the pain. Yes, so I rolled pretty good, but I'm down to 5 wounds from just 1 4-man Blitz squad. So that was super scary. I was like, holy shit, these guys are insane. So he's got his Oblit down over there. Mortarion's only on 5 wounds left, still stuck in combat with this accursed cultist fucking unit. These guys are all the way in the corner. All my guys down here, so there's literally nowhere for me to go. This was my first game with Death Guard. This was my first mistake, was how slow Death Guard is. So literally now it's going to take me 5 turns to get all the way somewhere into no man's land to try and do something. Okay, so where do we end up? Our Plague Marines both died over here. Cypher just took 1 off the thing himself. Flamer unit dropped down over there, flamed some more. The Hellbrute moved up, shot, and then charged this 3-man unit that's left over there. So all I have left is 3 Plague Marines, a Rhino, and then everything else on this side of the table. So let's get into it. My guys are now starting to move up, get closer to Mortarion so I can get that buff again, because he's really too far. That was another mistake. I should have kept Mortarion over here, at least on the objective, so I can get close to my Plague Burst Crawlers to kind of buff them up a little bit. So these guys came in from reserves on this side of the table to do, I believe, behind enemy lines. No, so deploy teleport homer and capture enemy outpost. So all I did was move my 1 squad back. I fell back with my Plague Marines to get on that objective. He overwatched with, I believe, the Flamers, and wasn't able to kill my 1 guy left on the objective to steal the objective. So I captured enemy outpost just by falling back. I passed battle shock test, fell back, and took the objective from him, which was an easy 8 points, just to kind of fall back and take it. Mortarions, I healed him, I believe, 1. So I spent 1 CP. He wasn't on objective, so it's D3 heal. So I spent 1 CP, healed him once, so booyah. These guys scooted up to try and get a charge and help somewhat Mortarion over here. All the dudes moved up to try and get line of sight on this Forge Fiend to try and keep shooting at him. Rhino moved up, and this is a little tactic, is this guy can't do, or anybody can't do actions if you're in combat. So I wanted to move up and shoot and charge the dudes over here, so that way they can't just sit there for the rest of the game and do actions. So that's what my Rhino did. Everybody else is kind of running up. I can't get onto the objective because I'm not fast enough. So I think I rolled a 6 and I still wasn't able to get on the objective, which was hilarious. So that was my mistake. What else happened? This guy stand up in the center, and then on his turn he had his Forge Fiend. No, he had one oblit left. So I basically shot everything in Oblitz. He had one oblit left. Oblit then aimed at Mortarion and then shot Mortarion, killed Mortarion. He rolled his Dark Pact, failed it, and then took 3 mortal wounds and killed himself. So basically, he killed Mortarion, but also blew himself up at the same exact time, which was fucking hilarious. Like, we were just dying when that happened. He's got a Forge Fiend that blew up, blew up my tank like pretty easily. The Forge Fiend came in from reserves, the Undivided Forge Fiend. So the Undivided Forge Fiend came in from reserves. Yeah, there it was. So there they are, and then there they go. That's basically what happened to Mortarion. That Forge Fiend shot the Plagueburst Crawler and wasn't even close. Like, spent 1 CP, 4 rerolls to hit and wound, and just dead. I think he hit 4 times and still was able to kill the Plagueburst Crawler. That's how fucking busted these guys are. It's 165 points. I'm 175 points, and you killed it without even trying. The fact that we can't get disgustingly resilient in shooting, it's only melee, is also kind of a bummer, and it's 2 CP. It should be 1 CP. That would make it a little bit more even. So let's get into this. So this was basically the end of his turn. He finished off, obviously, the last Plague Marine. This guy's scooting over to blow up the Rhino, which he did. So the Forge Fiend killed the Rhino, killed Mortarion, and everything else is just basically controlling his back to objectives back there. And I'm too far away to really do anything. So in this turn, we finally got our guys to the center of the objective. Typhus and these guys are now holding this objective. I needed to move both my guys up on this objective to try and make it sticky. My back objective is still sticky. He's got a unit of Nurglings down in this back left corner here. So unit of Nurglings deep struck in the back corner, doing actions. These guys are finally trying to finish up the unit that they're stuck in combat with the Accursed Cultists. And then we have Forge Fiend left on 2 wounds in the top. And I think this one was left on like 3 wounds. So they did take a bunch of damage, but they're still alive and they still can do a shit ton of wounds to me. So you got to look out for them as much as possible. Yeah, and then he killed another one. So a Forge Fiend then shot another Plagueburst Crawler and killed it pretty easily for 1 CP. So that Forge Fiend more than doubled its points back in 2 turns and was still alive. So Flamers moved out to try and block me from getting onto his objective. I took Bring It Down, so I had to try and kill the Forge Fiends. Cleanse and behind enemy lines. So we can cleanse pretty easily. We have cleanse here, a cleanse there, and a cleanse there to try and get the most points. And then I've left these guys. So this Forge Fiend and the Flamers basically shot all but 2 dudes over here. You can use Forge Fiends to try and steal objectives. So he basically moved up, try to get a charge off, consolidate, but he wasn't able to fit the base onto the objective, so he wasn't able to get onto the objective. Because you have to end base to base if you can. And then a Flamer over here. So if he's trying to get on the objective with the Flamer to try and be more OBSEC on this unit, that was his goal, to try and steal some points and get rid of the sticky action. But Typhus finished him off. So it was Typhus and this Flamer left on that objective. The Hellbrute moved up and charged these guys to try and kill these guys to take them off that objective. I think Hellbrute's 3 OBSEC. So these guys lost OBSEC. They're now only 1 OBSEC, which also sucks for Death Guard. They should be 2, if not 3. And then the Sorcerer lived attacking the Hellbrute. So he took overwhelming force in behind enemy lines, and then this was this side table. So Cypher's still alive on his home objective. We have the Hellbrute on this objective tying this up. We have my objective, nothing over here. Like there's literally no objective, so I just kind of ran them away so they don't get shot. And then Typhus is solo guy with the flamer on this objective. And then back here, my sticky objective on my home field objective. And these guys are 0 OPSEC, so they can't even hold an objective, so I don't have to worry about the Nurglings in the corner. But brutal end of the game. Like, insane. Alright, so this is the end of the game. We got Garrett at 75, Death Guard at 80. So super close game, 8-point victory. We got 5, 5, 10, and 20 at the end of the game. So 40 for the primary. Aerial denial turn 1, we got 5 because we were able to do that right in the center. And then 8 for turn 2. We got a really big turn 3 that helped out a lot. 9 for turn 4 and 10 on turn 5. So that was huge. We had 40 out of 40 for secondaries. That helped out so much. Then on his side, we had 35 for primary, so we won by 5 for primary, and then he had 40 for secondary. I believe with all the deep strikes, Chaos Space Marine have a really good secondary game. They're able to kill pretty easily, and they can get around the board pretty reliably, especially with the Nurglings coming down, Flamers if you want to bring them. So they have a really good 10th edition game. So if he would have only got one more secondary or a different secondary or one more primary or one more end game primary, he would have beat this, or we would have tied 80 to 85. So super close game. Appreciate it, Garrett. Let's recap with the video and then kind of go from there. All right, good. So what'd you like about your list?
I've really been enjoying my list. Forge Fiends, absolutely busted, broken,
Holy
bonkers.
One of them killed 2 Plagueburst crawlers.
Yeah.
And he killed something else, didn't he? The one back there.
I killed Morty. Oh no, that was Blit.
Yeah, the one Oblit was amazing.
Yeah, they just targeted Plagueburst crawlers, and then this one killed the zombies pretty much. I like my Curse Cultists a lot.
Yeah. And we learned a lot of tactics with them this game.
Yeah, certainly. I really like this list.
Anything you would change?
I've been trying to flirt with lists that include 10 Terminators. I've seen a lot of people take them like in WTC lists, but I know that's for teams and there's kind of a reason for that. And I can't really find a way to put Termies and a Curse Cultist in, so I think I'm just going to stick with a tankier variety and keep the Forge Fiends strong.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
I think taking away one Flamer squad and putting in Cultists.
That's fair.
Because if you would have kept that back objective, let's say sticky, or something else sticky, like maybe this objective or something, like it would have got you at least 5 more points. And what was the final score?
80 to 75.
So that unit that I killed off the objective the one turn, you wouldn't even have to worry about it because it was sticky.
Right.
So you would at least got 5 points and we would have tied the game compared to losing by 5.
That's actually very true.
So even if they made one objective sticky and got you 5 points, those cultists would have been everything. You didn't even have to move them out of that ruin.
Right.
So literally you would have had 10 cultists on that objective the entire fucking game.
Yeah.
If I get there, there's still 10 cultists on that objective.
Right.
And you basically keep that objective on your side the whole time.
That's actually a really good idea. And then even if I do that, like I don't have Cypher having to sit here the entire damn time. He can move up the side because he is Lona.
Yep.
And then that also screens. I have never played something like GSC or anything that has a lot of deep strikes.
Yeah.
So.
Have you played grenades?
I have not played grenades.
Okay, so
I thought you were gonna bring grenades today. Yeah.
Nah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, this would be nice to play grenades.
Yeah.
But no, the Death Guard was great.
And we definitely would have played Abby a little bit differently, or what?
1,000,000%. I would have just Nurgle shredded him at the start.
Yeah.
And then whatever. I was worried it's always the balance of do I Nurgle Abby or do I Nurgle my Forge Fiend?
Yeah.
Right at the start, and I was afraid that if I Nurgled him, you'd kill the Forge Fiend, but your indirect is really not good into like tougher vehicles, and I just didn't know that to start.
Yeah, I went on 5s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not that great. Whereas like into like Eldar, that's just straight mortal wounds. I usually protect my Forge Fiend because it's the only thing that can kill things like Fire Prism, shit like that.
100%.
So I usually just let the mortals go onto him and kill squad.
And I'm thinking I like your list because I was thinking about Chaos as well. That's the only thing I would change because I run a very similar list. I think I'm going to maybe bring it down to 2 Forge Fiends in my list as well and put one of them Undivided because Undivided is just fucking broken.
Yeah.
And then drop the 3rd Forge Fiend.
Yeah.
And bring in Oblitz because I don't have any Oblitz in my list currently.
The Oblitz are the only thing that kills the big stuff.
Yeah.
So I found out when I was running into, I played at Palladium and I played against like a Knight player and stuff like that. They're the only thing that kills Knights because like Forge Fiends on average will be like 6 to 8 wounds, whereas like a 4-mana Blitz with Profane Zeal can just one-shot the Knight.
Yeah.
He can one-shot Knight, one-shot the big Magnuses.
Almost Mortarion.
Almost one-shot Morty, who has a Feel No Pain. I spiked a little bit when I killed Magnus, but it does big damage to like the bigger threats. So I feel like I want to keep the 4-mana Blitz.
Awesome. Well, cool. I think, this list is one of the best Death Guard players in the world. I think he got ranked #1 last year, and he's in our server, so shout out to him. And this is a list that he went 5-0 with the 1GT, but he switched it up a lot. He switched it up instead of the Plague Marines and the Rhino, he would bring in a Predator tank with the Laugh Cannons.
Yeah.
And he brought in 2 Nurgle dudes.
Yeah.
And I think he brought in one more thing. I forget what it is, but I think that's and beasts. So he brought in Nurgle beasts.
Oh, beasts in there. Okay.
Yeah, because they're kind of hard to shift. They do heal D3 every command phase.
Yeah.
So I think having more secondary units would definitely help out this list specifically. Everything else is still the same. 2 characters, Typhus with the zombies, 2 units of the Terminator guys with the characters, Morty, 3 Plagueburst Crawlers, which I fucking love. I just know that now they die to Forge Fiends.
They are really good though. If you're taking sustained fire from those for 4 to 5 turns, they'll board you.
Yeah. I was probably too aggressive with them, but also I wanted to keep them within 6 of Morty because then I ignore all the penalties of out of the line of sight shooting.
Right.
And the side guns actually do damage to you if I can, hit. And they wound you on 4s. Yeah, they wound the Forge Fiends on 4s because strength 10, toughness 10.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so, and the reroll 1s to wound with Morty is also why I kept them within 6.
Right.
So, yeah, that's probably the only thing I would definitely test out his list moving forward. And yeah, I from what I've played, I don't think Death Guard are terrible. They're definitely fun. They don't have any strats, which is probably the disheartening part.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of fun tools.
The 2 CP strat for -1 damage in the melee phase only.
Yeah.
Being on objectives that you control to really gain benefits of the strats as well is also disheartening. And OPSEC 1 on the Terminators when before there used to be OPSEC like core or just OPSEC, so I think they should have been OPSEC 2. Or fuck it 3. I can't bring a banner.
Yeah.
Other terms can bring banners. We can't bring banners. So Typhus, I think I have to try him out again because he didn't really perform that well because he came in on fucking my table edge and spent 4 turns to get to there.
Yeah.
That also another thing I found out that we are very slow. Like very, very slow. So coming in from reserves and deep strikes, you have to make sure you get onto objectives and fight on objectives. Not coming in fucking in the corner and taking 4 turns to get where they are.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned. Yeah. So appreciate the game, Garrett.
No, I appreciate it.
Thanks. All right. So what did we notice is that Death Guard is very slow. Talking to the #1 Death Guard player over in our Discord, and he's like, it's almost like playing God mode in video games every single match that you play. Now, you can kind of, this was the list that we actually used. This is his list. He changed it up a little bit. He kind of brought in some Predator tanks. He brought in Spawn for more secondary stuff. I think he took out the Rhino and Plague Marines, but the Plague Marines honestly helped me kill Abaddon, and putting 2 of them in a units in the Rhino, which is like the only quick way to get up the board, I really did like. Honestly was thinking about changing up maybe Typhus. I'm going to test out Typhus one more time. I want to make a unit of 10 Plague Marines with Bilious Putrefier, so that way they can create on 5s, and the Fight First guy. So make them super hard in melee. I think it was melee. I forget how. What did I? I actually changed the list a little bit. Let me pull up the list for you. All right, here's one option. You can bring a Land Raider. So if you bring a Land Raider, drop 1 unit of Cultists and drop the allied units, which I don't think we had any allied units, but I think he added the Nurglings, so we could bring Nurglings if you want. But this is 10 Plague Marines, Foul Blight Spawn, and a Bilious Putrefier. So if you bring a Land Raider, at least you have some tankiness and last cannons to kill some stuff. Or you get rid of the Land Raider, bring back the Rhino. So it'd be a Land Raider Rhino, so at least you can shoot the spray out of the Rhino. But also the Land Raider can move up, they can get out, and then they can charge. So basically you're adding 10 inches plus 3-inch disembark. So they're only speed 10. So speed 10, so move up 10, disembark 3-inch. So 13-inch move on the Plague Marines, which is really fucking far compared to the 8-inch move out of the Rhino. And then they can still charge. So 13 inches plus a charge seems really good with the Land Raider. But besides the fact, if you take out the Land Raider, so we take out the Land Raider, we add back into the Rhino. All right, got it. So we added a Rhino and Chaos Spawn, and then 2 Nurgling units. So we have 2 Nurgling units, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, 2 Death Shroud Terminators, 1 Cultist, a unit of Spawn, so 2-man unit of Spawn, Rhino, Plague Marines, 10-man, Mortarion, Lord Virulence with Deadly Pathogen, which is +2 strength, +2 attack if he's on a contagion objective, Foul Blade Spawn, Death Guard Sorcerer, and a Putrefier with the Drowning. Does mortal wounds if they fail combat attrition tests, if they're in the aura, and there's going to be a lot of tests taken because of the Plague Burst Crawler. So this is a list that I would actually test out. The Rhino would have to kind of throw up the Plague Marines to get them into charge range. Yes, and then they have Fight First. They have crit on 5s in melee as well. And you can do free bomb strat. So basically free grenade strat once per battle. In your shooting phase, you can target this unit with a grenade stratagem. It's mortal wounds before they charge. And then lethal hits on 5+ instead of 6s. So everything in that unit's going to get hitting on 5s does lethal hits, and then reroll 1s to wound if they're within 6 inches of Mortarion, and ignoring all the shit. So it seems fun. So that's the one thing I've changed. But I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more Death Guard content. I want to do a review of the Death Guard game units that I've been running and seeing. And also there's a lot more tactical videos coming up as well. So hopefully the next video you see, I'll be running this list or a variant of this list. There's going to be a lot more Death Guard content coming up. So make sure you like and subscribe and do all the fun stuff. And if you guys want to get better at the competitive play for 40k, head over to the Patreon and go support us over at Dirtbag Nation. So appreciate it, guys. Good luck, and we'll see you in another video soon.